preach to you just to inform and offer shelter before the storm. I'm shouting from the rooftops as they sit quiet. This law is like my neighbor's house, I live by it. I set it off, oh let's begin. I'm in that mode, I get it in. Won't ever fold or break a bend. Why is that? Cause I'm a law-abiding citizen. We in a war, protect your chin. Go tell your fam, your next of kin. Not of this world, and won't pretend. Why is that? Cause I'm a law-abiding citizen. The works I see my father do, I'm a speaker of it. This law is like a garden to me, I'm a keeper of it. I prune the leaves, remove the weeds, prepare the soil, then plant the seeds. Can't force it on you, it's on you if you don't believe. With eyes to see, it's apparent that we under siege. So I don't look to find justice in the unjust, corrupted founders.
Brother Kev on here? Yeah, I'm on here. Oh, okay. So what's going on, Brother Kev? How did you how you hear about the truth, and how you run into Brother Nate? How long you been in the truth? Pretty much, well, yeah, like you said, my name is Brother Kev. Nice to meet you all through both of us. But I pretty much met Brother Nate when I used to live out in Georgia, pretty much last year. He was going through a situation that pretty much lent some help out to him. And he was pretty much on the gospel, on the truth, and he shared it with me. And I just took heed to it from the first time I heard it from him. And I just been running with it since then. And we all went through another situation to where we had to end up splitting. And I had to move out here in Virginia to where I am now. And I just recently reached back out to him because some things been coming up, you know. People have been asking me certain questions and stuff that I myself don't know how to answer. So, you know, I knew Nate was pretty much, you know, more educated than me at the time. So I just reached back out to him. He told me about this little conference thing that you guys have right here on the Sabbath. So I just asked him to be mine if I fit in, you know, see if I can be a part of something great.
Well, praise God, man. We appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, being in attendance. You know, hopefully we will, you know, share some thought-provoking information. One thing about our group is, you know, it's just kind of like a ragtag bunch of Hebrew guys and gals that kind of broke away from mainstream, you know. We all kind of heard the truth in our own different way, but we all were associated with some form of the big, you know, camp doctrine that you pretty much run into on Facebook and YouTube and any other, you know, social media when it comes to the Israelites. But we just kind of banded together. What is it? It's like 3 years now. And shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, family. Nashazia, Yahweh Yahshua.
Shemya, Akadala, Bam Yahweh, Bam Yahshua. Shabbat shalom, brothers of Yahoo. Shabbat shalom. Like I said, we just kind of doing like a formal, you know, introduction as far as, you know, our group, because we just had heard from a brother that accompanied Brother Nate on the phone. We were just saying how we operate is, you know, any and every opinion has to be considered and put on the table. And, you know, we have to, number one, we do consider the thing as a female. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out here now. You know, that Paul, woman shut up, all that kind of stuff don't apply here in this arena because we don't believe in that. There's a lot of things that we have studied as a group and come to the conclusion as a group of kind of what to follow, kind of like the scriptures say, right, the dividing word. And today's topic is one of those things that is highly controversial. I mean, when most people come in contact with it, their first thing is to say that, you know, it's crazy what you guys are talking, what you're teaching, what you're saying. You know, the scriptures don't say that. And we gotta agree that, you know, what most people accept to be the scriptures don't say what we're saying, but one group of people does is the prophet. The prophet says it over and over again, and like we always kind of have established from studying the scriptures, 2 or 3 witnesses confirm the matter. So once we go through the information today, you know, hopefully some people look at things a little differently, maybe, you know, spark a couple of thoughts in how we've been taught by not only the church, but also our Hebrew elders, so to speak, and how we've been personally interpreting the word based on how we've been taught.
Yeah, okay. Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what is the topic on today?
The original diet and the diet that was prescribed.
That's true diet. I was so I thought bring it up, man. You know, I wanted to go over it again because, you know, me and you we talked about it a couple of days ago. So, you know, I was hoping that was been a topic of what the other day it was, because I want to write the scriptures down. I got my Bible, I got my pen, and, you know, paper ready for it. You know what I'm saying?
I know something from the head to the home, so, with all that being said, I mean, does anybody want to, you know, first of all, does anybody, you know, want to do that little introduction? Because I know we have you know, we put this number out on Facebook recently, so it could be a number of people on the call.
I'll do a little introduction about me and Akadala. We're from Illinois, and I don't know if y'all familiar with GLCC, but we used to be with them. But, you know, as doctrine goes up and we see, you know, that Christ, he jumped from, you know, camp person to person, and the no meat thing, you know, they weren't in agreement with it, so we had left. And then we looked at a few TLCC videos in regards to the no meat diet. So that's how I got introduced to it. And then ever since then, you know, been reading a bunch of doctrine and books, and you know, even add on to the no meat doctrine. It's pretty interesting in the editing gospel how we even supposed to eat. And then, you know, it's real interesting. So I'm happy to hear this lesson.
Yeah, you got to go for a while. I'm on the phone here for sure. Like I said, well, how we got into it, Father Spirit fell on us about a number of topics. I mean, we won't touch on it today, but we touched on who Esau really is, because most of us, or most people, come in contact with the doctrine that Esau is a white man. So we had to step back and look at that. We had to look at a few prophecies concerning our captivity. We had to look at who is the white man and what does the Bible consider to be white people. We've been through a number of topics, and we finally had got our way into the priesthood. We were looking at the priesthood because you have verses in there that says the Levites have no inheritance. Their inheritance is the servants of the temple. But by the time the New Testament comes in, the Levites are nowhere to be found. You have the Pharisees and the Sadducees in control, and you have Herod, a Edomite Nabatean, as king of Jerusalem. So when you stop to examine what happened to the Levites, you come across a strange verse in 2 Kings that says that the priesthood of the second order was instituted under Josiah. And if you know the story, you know that Hezekiah and Josiah were two of the kings of Reformation in the southern tribe, and they also held a Passover in Jerusalem. And that's one thing that most people try to hammer home is about Passover. How can you keep Passover if you're not slaying a lamb? And we're going to deal with that today. We're going to deal with Leviticus 11 today. We're going to deal with
Cain and Abel and their sacrifice. We're going to deal with Noah. We're going to deal with Abraham. We're going to deal with Jacob and his family, corn. We're going to deal with Joshua crossing into the land and them keeping the Passover for 40 years in the wilderness by eating the old corn of the land. We're going to look at any and every instance that anyone can bring up, whether it's the pork or shoots down the eating of flesh or the not eating of flesh. We're going to consider all points. And then once we consider all points, we're going to start to wrap it up and head down the tunnel and decide, like, okay, what is it really saying? What really happened? What's going on?
Excuse me, go ahead. If I can speak, this is Agadala. If we're going to do that, I'm here to tell you guys, we will be here all night. Because each and every prophet, they couldn't preach about this enough. That this is very, this is something that should be highly advocated amongst the children of Israel, that we should not eat the meat. So we will be doing this until 1 o'clock in the morning or probably past that. And I'm not kidding you guys.
I understand it's fine, but I'm pretty sure most people on the phone are in support of the non-meat diet, but I'm just leaving it door open for anybody that hasn't, stepped forward and said, well, hey, what about this and that and this? But for the most part, we're just gonna head straight into it the way that the Spirit pretty much showed us, which is to go right to whatever concern anybody has, whether it be Leviticus 11, what is Moses talking about, or any other point that somebody tries to say that the true diet is the consumption of animals. And the main place where the seesaw really tilts is Genesis 9. If we just want to dive straight in, with the main point is in Genesis 9 when Noah comes off the boat and someone tells him that everything that moves is now meat for you. So if that's where we just want to go straight to it, we can go straight to Genesis 9. Okay. Okay. So if we're going to Genesis 9, that means that everyone has a full understanding of Genesis 1, chapter 29 and 30. It says, God said, behold, and I know some people put in their third part names and all that. I'm just going to read how the KJV has it. It says, God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every herb for meat. And it was so. So most people say, well, what about Genesis 9? They go to Genesis 9, starting in verse 1, where it says, and God blessed Noah and his son, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, upon every fowl of the air, and upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Semicolon. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, ye shall not eat. Right? That's what most people say, this is where it changed. This is where the Most High allowed us to eat animals. First things first. We need to back up to Genesis 8 and see what just happened. What just happened before Genesis 9.
Go back to Genesis 8, start at verse 18. And we're going to see exactly what happened. Now, before we read Genesis 8:18, we got to do a little catching up on the story. We know that from Cain's seed spreading across the earth, that the sons of God came down into the daughters of men, and, wickedness filled the earth. Then the flood came. Right? Then the flood wiped away all living things that walked upon the earth or that flew in the air unless they were in the ark. The only thing that the flood didn't wipe out is the animals in the sea, because you can't drown a fish in more water. So, once Noah got off the boat, this is what happened. And my thing is, you have to look at this account and say, is this a good account or a bad account? What Noah did shortly before we went into Genesis 9, where everybody thinks that the Lord allowed animals to be eaten. Genesis 8 and 18. It says, Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife, and his son's wife with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offering on the altar. So that's what Noah did as soon as he got off the boat. He offered burnt offering on an altar. Did anybody command Noah to do it? Did anybody tell? The only thing Noah was commanded to do was to build an ark. He was not commanded to build an altar or to give burnt offerings and sacrifice. So verse 21, and the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Stop. So does that sound good or bad? Whatever Noah just did was just the sacrificing of animals, the burnt offerings and sacrifices, and the smelling of a sweet savor. The Most High just said, look, man, I'm not going to curse the ground anymore for man's sake. Because of what? What comes from the ground? What was the original command? Eat the herb of the ground, right? So when Noah got off the boat, he has a burnt offering and sacrifice, and if you know the rules of the laws of the burnt offerings and sacrifices, that whatever priest sacrificed it gets a portion, and whoever offered it gets a portion to eat in the presence of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle, according to Leviticus. But in verse 21 it says, and the Lord smelled the sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So whatever Noah did when he got off the boat wasn't good. And he did a sacrifice. And then you go to Genesis 9, where it's basically saying that everything that liveth is meat for you. So stop. Everything that moveth, everything that moveth is meat for you. So does a pig move? Yep. Does a camel move? Yep. Does a bald eagle move? Yep. Does a snake move? Yep. So all these animals are now meat?
Alright.
Mm-hmm. That, if y'all's not the author of confusion, that sounds like confusion right there. But this is the first place where people go to try to establish that, look, it was changed right here, but I thought he said that, the Lord changes not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Because if he changed, he would have had to wipe us out for some of the sins that we have committed against the law and statute that he gave us as a nation.
Right.
So something's up here. That's the first place it smells kind of
kind of fishy on this point. If he established that herbs and veggies were the original diet, why then would he change it after the flood, after Noah just did a burnt offering and sacrifice? Why would he change it? Why would he change it? What needed to do to change it? The giants, they had just got done mixing flesh and eating flesh. That's why the flood came. So when Noah got off the boat, he does the sacrifice, and now he says, okay, all right, y'all can eat flesh now. I don't think so. I don't think that makes logical sense.
Also, too, like Brother just said, man's original diet, just like how Noah was just eating the vegetables, with the addition of meat, that's of Satan. We all add me into the chat. I'm gonna post not an article, but it's a record that they tried to hide from us called Nova 10, and he goes into how Satan and them, like, they added the meat specifically in a sinful manner. So, like, everything about this in Genesis, it's all true. You're not even supposed to touch meat. So meat is dead, and you don't want to put that in your body.
All right. Another point to consider while we're here in the flood era, before we move on. Noah, how many animals did he take onto the ark?
2 of each kind, right?
He took 2 of each kind, right? How many was he commanded to take onto the ark?
That's the thing right there, because when you all in Genesis 6 and Genesis 7, it looks like Noah was given 2 separate commandments. And it starts in the Genesis 6.
Genesis 6, we're going to, we started at 11, if we're going to get the whole story.
I think we can start at verse 17 to 22. And then we'll also note that these people, the people who had our book, these are the people that put in chapter breaks. They're the ones that decided when Genesis 1 ends and when Genesis 2 begins, or when Genesis 6 ends and when Genesis 7 begins. They put all those numbers in.
Genesis 6, chapter 17.
Yeah, chapter 6, started verse 17. 6 and 17, it says, and behold, even I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy son, and the wives, and my wife, and thy son's wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee. So stop. If Noah was gathering all the animals into the ark, what was their original command to eat? Herbs. Were they eating each other on the ark? No. They were not.
And anyway, I just noticed something. It said to keep them alive. It said it 2 times.
Yeah, I see it at the end of verse 20. It says, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. So when you sacrifice something, what do you do to it? You kill it. And thou shalt take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them.
And thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Then you go to 7 and 1. So he just got commanded to get 2 and 2, male and female. So 7 and 1. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7, the male and his female, and of every beast that are not clean by 2, the male and his female. Of fowls also of the air by 7, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. So now Noah gets the command to do 7s and 2s. So which one is he going to do? Is he going to do 2s and 2s or 7s and 2s? We all know the story that he does 2s and 2s. So what's up with that? Who is this coming in Noah's time to change something? Because Noah didn't gather 7s and 2s. He gathered 2s and 2s. And most people can't say, well, Noah gathered the 7s because when he got out the ark, he was going to do those sacrifices. We can read down and see that Noah gathered 2s and 2s. He doesn't gather 7s and 2s. So who is this that came unto Noah and tried to get him to transgress the command of the amount of animals he was supposed to take on the ark?
And not just that, but in Genesis 6, when Yahuwah was saying 2 by 2, he didn't distinguish between clean and unclean animals. He just said take the animals into male and female. And it's just funny because if Yah created these animals why would he come out and call them? They're all Can you repeat that? You say now. I'm sorry. If everybody can put their phone on mute, I didn't have a background noise. But what I was saying is that in Genesis 6, he doesn't make a distinction between clean and unclean. He just says bring the animals on board by 2, male and female. And we've got to remember when he created these animals in Genesis 1, he created them, he thought they were good, and he blessed them. He didn't call some clean, some unclean, he said they were good, and he blessed them. But now when we get to Genesis 7,
I'm really glad that you just mentioned that he blessed all the animals, and then in Leviticus is saying how they're unclean because in that argument with Novachian, he's saying how, like, if the Most High created it, everything is good that he created. You know what I'm saying? But everything has its purpose, spiritually and physically.
Right. So which means you might need many other animals to till the land, but you might not, like, for instance, the pig is one that cleans the land. So you might need other animals to till the land, but not many janitors to clean the land. In the sense, so to speak. Right. Okay. Because everybody has a different purpose, you know? And everybody has a different purpose. I want to actually take off that to this. Like, I'm not sure if we all are aware, like, what was the cause of what was going on in the world, why it had to be flooded. Like, are we aware of that? Yeah, because the wickedness of man has spread across the earth, and the giants. What wickedness? Exactly. Yeah, what the giants? What wickedness? That they were mixing flesh and eating flesh. Oh, absolutely.
can we get it?
Oh yeah, it's right there, 6 and 4. Yeah, and there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men and bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was evil continually. That's the same thing he said about Noah when he did their sacrifice. Was it not the same verbiage? You know, he said that Noah's heart was evil continually when they did their sacrifice. That's the same evil that the giants are doing right here in Genesis 6.
Right.
It says in verse 6, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, for wild beasts and creeping things and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, so this is interesting now. Isaac, right? From Noah to Isaac, they all failed to the same thing. Like they all were doing this blood sacrifice, right? And he had to keep prophesying this, keep prophet, all the way into our generation. Because it was like he wanted us to understand that we weren't supposed to do it. So we see that Noah obviously still failed and he still made his sacrifice. Then we still see that Isaac also failed and still made his sacrifice with Esau. So like these people were still doing this, not because it was very common to them. I was trying to get us to understand that we weren't supposed to do this, but showing us accounts where certain people would still do this. You know, because at the end of the day, we all think we're not perfect. But we try to be, you know, we try to get to be perfect.
But if the watchmen see you before and blow not the trumpet, show the transgressions of Israel. If the sword overtake any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. Show the transgressions of Israel. Show the transgressions of Israel. Cry loud. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Spare not. Show the transgressions of Israel. Show the transgressions of Israel. Cry loud. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Spare not. Show the transgressions of Israel. Show the transgressions of Israel.